Joining us now is the CEO of the Tygerberg Hospital Childtens Trust, Jason Falken. The Archbishop and Mama Leah are longtime patrons of the Trust. Jason, thank you so much for joining us. You know, some of the words we've heard this morning since the news broke, shocked, devastated, alongside words describing the Archbishop as a magnificent human being, a beacon of light, a liberator to all. Talk to us about your personal relationship with the Archbishop and certainly share with us how you're feeling at this present moment.
Well, it's quite a surreal feeling. Good morning, first of all. It's quite a surreal feeling for myself personally. You know, the Arch and Mama Leah Tutu have been patrons of the children of Tygerberg Hospital for more than 20 years. So firstly, on behalf of all those kids for whom the Arch has given his time so selflessly, we wish to give our condolences to the family and friends of the Arch, and we want them to know that we will continue the legacy of the Arch and continue to fight towards the principles that he has taught us.
Indeed. We've been talking at length, Jason, about the legacy of the Archbishop, but as the CEO of the Children's Trust, for whom, you know, the Archbishop and Mama Leah were patrons, you represent an organization that embodies a lot of the ideals that they upheld. Talk to us about how you intend to honor the legacy of the Archbishop moving forward as a trust.
Well, you know, Tygerberg Hospital supports about 60% of the Western Cape's children. That's a lot of children, and a lot of our future South African destiny resides in their hands. Last year and the year before, I engaged on an email conversation with the Arch, asking him about how best we can honor his name and the legacy that he's left for us. And collectively, we agreed on creating a few youth platforms, such as the Tutu Tigers, which is an ambassadors platform geared specifically towards carrying the Arch's legacy forward. And he gave his full blessing for that. We founded that last year on Youth Day, and that is one of the platforms that we will use to continue his legacy going forward. Also, all the kids that are involved with us, we try to engage with as many communities of patients as possible, to engage them around the trust, so that we can carry on the work that the Arch has left for us. There's a lot of work left in South Africa, and really it's up to us to carry that forward. There is no one else. So these platforms are nothing but springboards to carry on the Arch's work, and we fully intend as a Tygerberg Hospital Children's Trust community of people to do that.
No, absolutely. You know, it was interesting, Jason, in our conversation earlier with Limpopo Health MEC, Dr. Poppy Ramathuba, we reflected on how even in old age, the Archbishop was someone who, you know, was very much involved in matters concerning his countrymen, in matters concerning society, and clearly in the case of the Children's Trust, in matters concerning a very vulnerable group in this country. Talk to us about, in your interactions with him, what was the one thing that he wanted to achieve through the work of the Trust? I mean, this is an individual who was an anti-apartheid activist, a human rights activist at the core, but also compassionate enough to want to take on a cause relating to children. We know the statistics in this country. We know why children are considered a vulnerable group in this country. What was the one thing that he wanted to achieve through the work of the Trust?
Well, I think if I can sum the Arch up in one word, it would be unconstrained love. The Arch expressed so much love for our kids without any care for dogma or bureaucracy. You know, his love for them shone a light through all of those things, through all of the hurdles that stands in the way of delivering love to other people. The Arch just shone through all of those things. On his birthday earlier this year, we had the honor of being at the St. George's Cathedral to celebrate with him. And I took the opportunity to bring some of the kids from the hospital there to wish him well. And you know, the Arch arrived in his wheelchair, and there was quite a media hype around him, so very difficult to actually even see him. But through all of that, when he saw the kids, he actually stopped everybody. He moved his carers aside so that he can look at them. And that light of love just switched on and shone through his eyes, and he smiled, and he just said, thank you to those kids for that moment.
Yeah.
And for me, that is the epitome of what the Arch is. In South Africa, we have so many hurdles, unnecessary hurdles placed in front of our progress. And it's a shame for the youth and children of this country to be burdened with that when it's totally unnecessary. The Arch was able to show us that despite all those hurdles, you can cut through all of those things with love. And he didn't care what stood in his way. That love just shone through his eyes, and we had a very special moment with those kids to be able to see and witness that in a few seconds, how that light just shines through.
Indeed. It does seem that for one individual, he was certainly able to make such a profound impact on those around him. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Jason Falken. He is the CEO of the Tygerberg Hospital Childtens Trust, joining us on the line there to help us reflect on the man that the Archbishop was, his just determination to touch the lives of young children in this country. I mentioned earlier that this is a vulnerable group in this country. We know very well the sort of violence, crimes that are afflicted against the children, and this was a cause that was near and dear to the Archbishop's heart.